The University of California represents the ideals of our state. Unfortunately, it seems as if in some of the actions that are being taken that ideal is not being achieved.
In the spring of 2013, patient care and service workers at the University of California were facing short staffing and poverty wages, creating working conditions that compromised campus services for students and endangered UC patients.
Cuando una persona llega a intensivo es porque viene delicada. Necesita ese cuarto estar preparado esperando a esta persona. Si ese cuarto ha sido limpiado a la carrera porque hay otro cuarto que te está esperando, yo pienso que queda medio limpio, entonces puede quedar algún germ y puede venir a ocasionar algo más grave que esperamos no suceda.
Por eso es necesario que haya más gente, porque también es causa de accidentes, de caídas, de golpes, de lo que les digo, machucones, trapezones, todo.
I have to work a lot. I have to have 3 jobs because what the university pays me is just not enough to make a living for my family and myself.
The union representing these workers, AFSCME 3299, was bargaining over 2 separate contracts. One for nearly 12,000 nurses' aides, x-ray techs, and frontline patient care workers in UC hospitals and campus health centers, and another for more than 8,000 service workers throughout the system, including campus custodians, groundskeepers, and dining hall workers. When AFSCME asked UC to address staffing and safety concerns, the university refused to discuss the issues, instead demanding workers accept huge cuts to benefits, while UC executives took home millions in bonuses.
Enough, because these are the workers that work so hard, that make universities happen, make everything that goes around every day, our food, our clean restrooms, our clean classrooms, everything around campus. It wouldn't happen if it wasn't for the workers.
I think that students were supportive of all of the campaigns of the workers because they understand what it's like to be felt silenced or to be marginalized by the UC. And I think students understand the importance of organizing for those communities that are kept silent by the administration.
After hearing about the injustices faced by UC workers, students formed a statewide coalition to support their struggle. Working with United Students Against Sweatshops, they organized a summer conference to learn about the issues and to build the skills they needed to take action.
Like, students were learning how to organize, understanding why fully they were part of this movement.
That October, 96% of AFSCME workers voted to strike. The union called for a 1-day strike for November 20th, and students were ready to organize. They formed campus coalitions and started a strike pledge, asking their classmates to sign on to support the AFSCME picket lines.
What the students did is that they organized and they joined us in that fight because they know that what affects the worker will automatically affect the student.
When AFSCME workers went out on strike, we wanted to go out on strike in solidarity with them.
The November 2013 Unfair Labor Practices strike was the largest in UC history, involving some 22,000 AFSCME workers and 8,000 UAW graduate students. Adding to worker power were thousands of students across the state who staged a walkout in solidarity.
And we're like, yes, this is what solidarity looks like, this is what community looks like, what democracy looks like.
And at one point, everyone just started like dancing.
You look on your side, there's a students there. You look in front, there's a students there. You look behind, there's a students there. So, it was great, to have them there.
The November 20th strike was a major success in showing the unity and power of students and workers. but the UC continued to give workers the runaround when it came to making real change. By February, the new UC president, Janet Napolitano, had settled contracts with nearly all other major UC unions, but AFSCME workers were left out in the cold.
We were hearing that UC had settled with other unions and not AFSCME workers. And it started to dawn on us that this was like second-class treatment, and it was probably like racially motivated.
Workers could either accept poverty wages and second-class treatment, or they could continue to fight. That February, AFSCME workers voted 96% yes to strike again, and on Valentine's Day, the union called for a 5-day strike for the first week of March.
Leading up to the 5-day strike, we had this giant coalition of students that was just like growing and growing.
We were ready to go hard.
The energy was all over the place.
Just days before the March strike was set to begin, UC finally began to move, granting a fair settlement for service workers and averting the 5-day campus strike. But it would take another several weeks and calls for a 5-day hospital strike before UC would grant a fair settlement for patient care workers as well.
Ellos, los estudiantes, todo el tiempo estuvieron con nosotros en todas las acciones, entonces, pues por ellos ganamos el contrato.
When students and workers actually unite and take action together, it sort of amplifies all of our voices.
The 2014 contracts marked a historic victory for UC workers and the students who had fought beside them. The new contracts beat back cuts to pensions and benefits, won fair wage increases, and, most importantly, gained better staffing rules that protect patient safety and ensure better services for UC students.
Is I think the most powerful example of that we can empower one another to affect change in an administration that seems oftentimes impenetrable. And that empowerment is really incredible and has changed the way that I feel about my place in the UC.
And it's a coalition of students, both undergraduates and graduate students, working with the union coalitions on campus that are ultimately going to be able to hopefully make a change and make the University of California more student and education oriented and less high paid for administrator oriented.
Student worker solidarity means
empowerment.
Amor y resistencia.
We will win.
Working and fighting together.
Unity.
Solidarity.
Strength.
La fuerza.
Being human.
Unity.
Building relationships.
Taking responsibility.
Love.
Shared struggle.
Great, yeah!
So rad.